this cat, and it went from 90 degrees and me sweating a couple days ago to rain and a cool 70-ish weather. It's very comfortable. I'm wearing my Conor McGregor sweatshirt that I made. You know, there's so many haters out there. It's amazing. I don't understand what the big deal is. But anyway, let me get to the point. I want to do this video because a couple things happened. I was talking to a friend of mine today. He works in Beverly Hills. He's a hairdresser. And he told me he got jumped a couple days ago in Hollywood. You know, and I asked him if he was okay. He had some scrapes. Some stranger just literally jumped on his back and attacked him and then ran off. And he didn't even get a description because the guy jumped from behind. And you know, when the police asked him, they didn't know. He didn't know what the guy looked like. But I asked him if there was surveillance footage, you know, or if there's any buildings around with cameras. And hopefully he'll be able to get that information. But he's not the only person who told me recently they were attacked. Another construction worker that I met out in Beverly Hills, he was walking to his truck one night and some random guy just hit him with a baseball bat. Or not a baseball bat, some piece of like metal or steel or whatever. And you know, it just seems that anybody at any time can get attacked. And my friend, the one that I talked to today, he was really shaken up, which is normal, and he kept saying that he didn't do anything wrong, and I kept trying to say to him, of course you didn't do anything wrong. It's just that there are people who are mentally ill running around all kinds of cities on drugs or just straight up mentally ill, attacking people. And it just seems like it's a growing phenomenon with the homelessness and the job issue and mental illness not being addressed in this country, that walking to the store or walking to your car or walking to your house, you literally, you know, could be attacked. So I think my friend's in shock, of course, and you know, as a friend, you want to be compassionate to a person if they've been assaulted. What I've learned through my own issues that are going on is that a lot of people think it's funny. I happen to be stopped in on Rodeo, and some tour guide and his tour. You gotta understand, these tour buses drive around all over, all the time in Beverly Hills, and some of them know me, and his tour bus is full with like 10 or 12 people, and he starts going off about me like, oh, you know, that's Cat woman, and you know, she's now a photographer. And he's just like talking on a microphone to all the people on the bus, but also it's going outward because he's on a microphone. And this guy's trying to clown me. And I'm like, you know, I've been shooting for 8 years. And then he starts making jokes and, you know, saying stuff about Suge Knight. And I go, you know, Suge Knight killed somebody. And then the guy shuts up. And I go, you know what? You have a great day. Or whatever I said. But, you know, he's like, well, I'm not trying to do anything. You know, I've been driving for 10 years. And I go, exactly. You've been driving your bus for 10 years. And you're acting like you know me and you don't. But I don't know how to explain stuff, but I had to rack my brain over people and why they act the way they do and why they get so much glee out of other people's suffering. You know, and it really freaked me out because when I got assaulted 2 years ago, I had at least 2 women that I knew. One worked for TMZ at the time. She called me on the phone and harassed me. I talked about that before. At the time, I just couldn't believe she was that way. But then I was just like, you know what? That's just her, and she's trying to get a story, and she just doesn't give a fuck. You know, that's just how she rolls. And then one day I'm on the street, and this female photographer, and I'm being nice calling her female, she started talking shit to me, and she's like, well, you're not really hurt, you know, you're just making stuff up. And she said something about me being jealous about her shooting Suge Knight, you know. And I'm just thinking, wow, I can't believe this person. I mean, we're associates, we work in the same field, and there's very few women, but it's just interesting how, you know, if I knew someone got assaulted by somebody, you know, I don't know if I'd handle that the same way she was. It wasn't cool. But while I'm talking, there's some guy screaming across the street, which is just great. But anyway, let me get back to the point. So fast forward to like this year, and I should say I've been meditating over the last 2 years. I was in a lot of pain, and I didn't have any pain medication, and I don't do drugs, unfortunately. I can't afford them. But I meditated for hours. I couldn't sleep, you know, and the meditating and the listening to really calm music helped me out a lot. So if any of you are a victim of assault, or you've had a concussion or something like that, you need to find outlets that help soothe you, whatever that might be. Hopefully it's not addictive in a negative way, because one of the issues of having, you know, chronic pain is it's very easy to become addicted to painkillers or alcohol or things that are going to numb the pain and make you feel temporarily better. It's very, very difficult, you know, when you're in a weakened state to not fall under the spell of some very negative things you can get to, you know what I mean? So anyway, meditation, you know, taking care of yourself, writing, you know, journaling, talking to a therapist, talking to a friend or family member that actually listens. And that's a whole nother issue. A lot of people who care about you will just not understand what you're going through, and they're trying to help you. At least they think they're trying to help you, but they can't hear you, because it's a weird thing that happens. They feel like they didn't protect you or something, and you start fighting and you don't understand what the hell is going on, and it's just very frustrating. That's all I got to say. It's just unbelievable. But you just have to keep focusing on what you need to do. Look, I'm getting back to the main point. The main point is taking care of yourself. And also, I was trying to figure out, like, why do they revel in other people's pain so much? What would make somebody that has seen you working for 6 or 7 years say something that foul? And then I figured it out. Obviously, the people that say those mean-spirited things or laugh at someone being assaulted, obviously they were abused in some form too, and they weren't listened to at some point in their life, so they don't know how to have compassion and understanding and empathy. And then once I grasped that concept, I don't know if it made me feel better, but it kind of made me understand why certain people are the way they are. Because when you're at your lowest and someone gets off to you, you know, being upset or being in pain, and, you know, the only thing I can say is that obviously abused people. It doesn't give them the right to do it, but they do it anyway. So what I'm trying to say is that, you know, a lot of people did not get the proper upbringing that they should have gotten. They don't know about being, you know, a decent human being. They've been abused, so they just abuse other people, and it just is a never-ending cycle. So I can't change other people. I can only work on myself. Therefore, I try to be a better person. I'm not perfect by any means, but I try to look for a deeper understanding about why people do what they do. But you can't force someone to be enlightened or to be a kind person or to care about other people. And the other thing I found out, I think, is that people that abuse other people, they don't give a fuck if you cry. They actually get off to it. So if you engage in that S&M kind of thing where, you know, they hit you and you stay in the relationship, or they abuse you and you stay in the relationship, you're playing into the dynamic. So you have to choose to get out of it. But like I said, I think a lot of these people, they never had an upbringing, the proper upbringing, where they were taught compassion, understanding, love. Ooh, the sun's coming out. It's gorgeous. God, that's a miracle. Anyway, I'm so stream of conscious. I hope you guys don't mind. There's people playing by the tree. But yeah, like I said, if you're one of the victims, or I hate to say victim, if you're one of the survivors of violence, or you've had a back concussion, you got to take care of yourself, and you got to like go in nature, you know, take it easy. I'm really hypercritical. I found that out about myself, but I get mad at myself for not being able to do certain things that I could have done, or that I used to do before better, and I get overwhelmed. But you got to be honest with yourself. So take care. This is Kat from Kattalestv. And go outside. Go outside and see flowers. You'll feel better.